I am Crystal Knox, Recreation Supervisor for the City of Diamond Bar. And also here with me on behalf of the city are Evelyn Rivero, Recreation Specialist, and Monique Weeks, Recreation Coordinator. We have a lot in store for you today. So please grab a pen, grab a notepad, and hold on to your seats. There's a lot of information that we'll be sharing. Just so you are aware, we are going to be recording today's event as well, and it will be available on our website following this. So if there's anything you missed, you'll have the opportunity to rewatch this if you'd like, or share with your friends. The first portion of the showcase will include 3 presentations targeted at providing you with helpful business resources. Following the final presentation, we will allow opportunity for Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout the presentations, please use the Q&A box. You can type in your questions there and we will address them at the conclusion of our final presentation. And then finally, following the presentations and Q&A, we will have a vendor portion where we will visit with some of our sponsoring vendors, and we will also allow for Q&A during that time. So please stay on to visit with our vendors and to listen to their entries, and we will enter you all into a raffle prize, all of you that are able to stay on with us. So I will begin by providing you with a little bit of background about the Diamond Bar Center. The Diamond Bar Center is owned and operated by the City of Diamond Bar. It is a 22,000 square foot facility that operates as the hub of the city's recreation department. We are located within the beautiful Summit Ridge Park, and it is designed in a craftsman style. The facility is also equipped with state-of-the-art multimedia capabilities and a full catering kitchen. The open design and picturesque scenery create the perfect setting for weddings, formal events, corporate seminars, trainings or meetings, and endless variations of private and public gatherings. Like many of you, the Diamond Bar Center has been impacted by COVID-19. Due to state closures, our business has hurt because of it. Thus, this is why we are here meeting with you today virtually instead of in person. As we all begin to navigate recovery and rebuild our businesses, we hope that today's showcase will provide you with helpful resources and ideas to recuperate. Whether providing safe and clean space at the Diamond Bar Center, promoting your business through programs such as Restaurant Week, Corporate Showcase, or are providing you with business recovery program information, the City of Diamond Bar is here to assist. Here to talk more about these programs and more are the Diamond Bar City Mayor, Nancy Lyons, Diamond Bar City Manager, Dan Fox, and Small Business Majority, Southern California Outreach Manager, Latavia Pineda. So to start us off, our first presentation will be provided by our City Manager, Dan Fox. Dan was unable to meet with us in person today, so he has provided us with a presentation.
Good morning. My name is Dan Fox. I'm the City Manager for the City of Diamond Bar. I would like to welcome you to our first virtual 2021 Diamond Bar Center Corporate Showcase. I hope that all of you, your families, colleagues, and employees are doing well and taking the necessary precautions to stay safe and healthy during this dangerous pandemic. COVID-19 has rapidly turned everything we knew completely upside down. This program today is another example of just that. We would normally have loved to host an in-person event at the Diamond Bar Center to be able to speak with you personally, show off our beautiful facility, and enjoy the breathtaking views. The Diamond Bar Center is our crown jewel and is a perfect setting for weddings, receptions, formal dinner gatherings, community fundraisers, and other events. But it's also the perfect place for corporate seminars, company retreats, training events, trade shows, and a multitude of business-related activities. The City of Diamond Bar has always focused on not only being a great place to live, but also being a great place to do business. Diamond Bar has great demographics with above median household incomes. We have a very business-friendly environment with some of the lowest business license fees in the region, and a great staff to assist you through the permitting process to get your doors open sooner. During COVID-19, Diamond Bar has been very supportive of all our businesses that have been impacted by California and Los Angeles County stay-at-home and health officer orders. The City Council provided $470,000 in small business grants to help 94 businesses. The City Council also adopted outdoor dining and business guidelines with a streamlined approval process to allow businesses that can to operate outdoors. We have also relaxed our temporary sign regulations. Since the beginning of the pandemic, Diamond Bar has offered online planning, building permit, and inspection services. The city has also continually provided information on our website and through our social media channels to help share the ever-changing information about county, state, and federal assistance and grant opportunities to business. The City of Diamond Bar has a strong partnership with both the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership and the Regional Chamber of Commerce, San Gabriel Valley. I believe we still have the most members of any of the other cities and communities that the Chamber serves. The city's role with both the Economic Partnership and the Regional Chamber brings vital networking and advisory resources to the business community. Another way the city helps support local businesses is through Diamond Bar Restaurant Week. This is a program that was inspired by Mayor Lyons and is co-sponsored with the Regional Chamber of Commerce, San Gabriel Valley. This year's program looked a bit different due to COVID-19, but nonetheless was very successful. Another exciting program that we support is SCORE. SCORE stands for the Service Corps of Retired Executives and is a nationally recognized not-for-profit organization with a local chapter here in the San Gabriel Valley. The city and SCORE host workshops throughout the year, now virtually, on a wide range of business topics. SCORE volunteers are also available by appointment to meet with you individually and confidentially to discuss your specific business. The city and community continue to be very excited about the recently renovated Diamond Bar Ranch Shopping Center. And over the past 2 years, we've welcomed new businesses including Sprouts Farmers Market, Ross, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, Chipotle, and the Habit Grill. Sherwin-Williams will be the next new tenant to join the center this spring, and we hope to be able to announce additional new businesses in that center in the near future. We work closely with all our commercial and office property owners and real estate community to help businesses locate in Diamond Bar. If you're interested in opening a new business or know of someone interested, particularly if you're a point-of-sale business, let us know. Again, on behalf of the City of Diamond Bar, I would like to thank you for taking the time to attend and support this wonderful event. Your participation is very much valued. We're all working very hard to make Diamond Bar one of the best places to live and do business in the region. Don't forget to book your next corporate event here at the beautiful Diamond Bar Center. Thank you and enjoy the program. Stay safe, stay healthy.
While Dan was unable to join us today, I'd like to thank him for his time he's invested in today's event and for sharing all of that wonderful information. Next up to speak about the city's Business Recovery Program and Restaurant Week is Honorable Mayor Nancy Lyons. She has also prepared a video for us today.
Good morning. My name is Nancy Lyons, and I serve as mayor for the City of Diamond Bar. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us for the first virtual Diamond Bar Center Corporate Showcase. To echo that of my colleagues, we would have loved to have hosted an in-person event at the Diamond Bar Center to network and engage with you face-to-face. Thanks to modern technology, we still have the opportunity to meet safely from a distance today. The COVID-19 pandemic has not only redefined how we socialize and how we communicate, but also how business is conducted across the world. The City of Diamond Bar continues to put an effort to do our part in helping the community and local businesses adapt to this new way of life. Two of the city's projects that I am personally proud of are the Business Recovery Program and Diamond Bar Restaurant Week. In June 2020, the Diamond Bar City Council provided direction to repurpose over $320,000 in eligible community development block grant funds to help Diamond Bar businesses respond to opportunities and challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The community development team moved quickly to coordinate and launch a multi-component business recovery program. The program's three components are small business grants, relaxation of temporary sign restriction rules, and allowing businesses to establish outdoor dining and service areas. Small business grants were made available through an online application and lottery process for those businesses that were independently owned and locally operated with only 25 or fewer full-time employees. The funds must be used to retain or hire at least one low to moderate income employee. The city received approximately 180 eligible applicants. All applications received during the intake window were randomly drawn and listed in order of selection. The first 64 randomly drawn applications were awarded a grant of $5,000. The remaining eligible applicants were placed on a waiting list. The council committed to provide additional grants should funding become available. In August 2020, an additional $150,000 was made available to the small business grants allocated from funds received through the CARES Act. Such support awarded 30 additional businesses from the wait list with one-time grants of $5,000. The cumulative amount of $470,000 provided assistance to 94 businesses. Funds were utilized for rent, payroll, utilities, PPE, and equipment to accommodate physical distancing. The city also suspended our temporary sign regulations so that businesses and property owners could install additional signs without permits. Shopping center owners are encouraged to consider installing joint or center-wide banners at prominent corners and center entrances to provide a cohesive appearance and to reduce sign clutter. This program was extended until further notice in December 2020. In response to measures put in place by the Los Angeles County Public Health Department order to reduce the spread of COVID-19, the city has implemented a streamlined permitting process for the establishment of outdoor service areas to help mitigate the impacts of indoor operation restrictions. City temporary use permit application fees and any city building permit fee associated with these outdoor service areas will be waived. We are happy to report on January 25th, the state regional stay-at-home order, which temporarily suspended outdoor dining and personal service operations, was lifted. Restaurants can now resume outside dining options. Retail and personal services, such as nail and hair salons, can also resume indoor operations with some occupancy limitations. The city staff will continue to monitor the Los Angeles County reopening safer at work, and in the community, orders for new guidelines to swiftly and safely reinstate outdoor dining and other businesses. Additional efforts have been made to continue to support local businesses through existing programs such as Diamond Bar Restaurant Week. Diamond Bar Restaurant Week debuted in 2016 as a special promotion in partnership with the City of Diamond Bar and the San Gabriel Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce. Diamond Bar Restaurant Week is aimed at celebrating and showcasing the numerous and diverse dining options available within the city. This annual event traditionally takes place for 1 week in the month of October. Participating eateries serve up specially priced dine-in, takeout, and delivery options during the event. Restaurants are listed on the DBRW website, provided marketing materials, and advertised throughout various city media outlets. Due to the impacts COVID-19 had on the local economy, restaurants were not required to register or offer discounted menu items to participate in the 2020 campaign. Instead, all Diamond Bar dining establishments were promoted. The campaign included a dine and win contest, as well as a photo contest for all Diamond Bar restaurant goers to participate in for chance to win prizes. This past year more than ever, the main drivers for Restaurant Week were to highlight dining options in Diamond Bar to the local residential and business community with the following goals in mind. Engage the community to increase local shopping and dining, which positively impacts the local economy. Create excitement around the Dine and Win contest to encourage patronage with the possibility of winning locally sponsored prizes. I'd like to take a moment to thank the San Gabriel Valley Chamber of Commerce for co-sponsoring this event and all who participated this year. I would like to share a short video that highlights this year's event featuring interviews with local restaurant owners.
So welcome back to It's Every Day. We had an amazing turnout for Restaurant Week. We were so thankful that we got to welcome in new friendly faces in the community into our shop. It definitely helped a lot. We loved seeing many new people that didn't know that we were in Diamond Bar right down the street. So we hope to see everyone again.
First of all, I would like to thank you to City of Diamond Bar Chamber of Commerce for organizing this event. I think this was a very good platform for local community and local business to combine each other's effort. We had a good response from local residents. We are happy. We got new customers.
It is with the hard work of our local business owners and the support and patronage of our community that we are able to continue to maintain a healthy economy. Please continue to support your local commerce as restaurants and businesses begin to reopen in 2021. As state and county health orders continue to rapidly change, the city continues to work to provide up-to-date guidance to assist Diamond Bar businesses reopen quickly and safely. Programs such as the Diamond Bar Center Corporate Showcase in partnership with the San Gabriel Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce, SCORE, and the Small Business Majority can also provide reliable sources. Please visit www.diamondbarca.gov for more information on these programs and more.
Thank you, Mayor Lyons, for sharing that informative video with us. And thank you for her continued support for our local businesses. Again, for more information about these two programs and more, visit the city website at www.diamondbarca.gov. And under that, you can go to businesses and there's more information and other programs that we also offer. So this was just some information she'd like to share. So, and for now, we will go ahead and start our final presentation. As a reminder, please feel free to enter your questions in the Q&A box as they come up during the presentation. We will review and address them at the conclusion of the presentation. And if they're not addressed during that portion, we will have the opportunity to also send your questions via email. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce to you Small Business Majority, Southern California Outreach Manager, Latavia Pineda. Hi, Latavia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. Really excited to share some really great information with you all about the state and federal resources available to support small business owners during the pandemic. So getting started, yes, I am Latavia Pineda. I am the Southern California Outreach Manager for Small Business Majority. So I work throughout all of Southern California with an emphasis on LA County, Riverside County, and San Bernardino County, but also more than happy to help folks all over the state. A little bit about Small Business Majority in case you're not familiar with us. We are a national education and advocacy nonprofit that focuses on empowering America's small businesses and the self-employed to ensure that they have the tools and knowledge that they need to create a more thriving and inclusive economy. We have a network of more than 80,000 business owners across the country that can access our resources and tools completely for free. We're not membership based. All that it really takes is signing up to our newsletter, and you're able to sign up for all of our webinars, and anyone can access both of our websites that I'll talk about in just a moment. We also do a ton of advocacy work to ensure that policymakers have the information they need to make good policies to support small businesses. And we do this via scientific research and polling. We also really focus on uplifting the voice of small business owners and ensuring that your voices are being heard in the media and then as well as in front of policymakers. We do tons of education and resource sharing, creation and distribution, such as webinars like this one that you can attend to learn about anything from access to capital, workplace benefits, taxes, etc. A lot of our information is stored on venturize.org, which is our online resource hub that I'll actually be able to walk you guys through kind of towards the end of my presentation. So getting started, I want to give you just a little bit of an overview about some of the programs that are out there to support small business owners. And I know it can get really confusing because some of them have similar names and, there's loans, there's forgivable loans, there's grants, and it can get really confusing. So hopefully this chart kind of gives a good kind of baseline understanding for you all. So first off is the Paycheck Protection Program, commonly known as PPP. This is a forgivable loan product that can be obtained through an SBA approved lender. And so when I say it's forgivable, you're given a loan based off of your payroll expenses and your payroll needs. And then assuming that you spend it in the correct categories, you can apply to have that loan forgiven, and it essentially becomes like a grant. And I'll actually focus a lot of my presentation today on PPP and what that process looks like for first-time and second-time applicants. There's also the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which is an SBA loan product that has existed for many years, and it was created to respond to natural disasters such as hurricanes, tornadoes, other natural disasters, including the wildfires. And there is actually a specific economic injury disaster loan for those businesses impacted by COVID. This does have an interest rate of 3.75% for for-profit businesses, and you would apply directly through the Small Business Administration for this loan product, and it's paid back over 30 years. So those monthly payments end up being pretty low. And then I'll talk about this a little bit more going further into my presentation, but I'm not providing a ton of information on the economic injury disaster loan today, but I hope that it is on your radar in case you haven't applied yet. And there is also the economic injury disaster loan advance. So back in kind of the earlier months of the pandemic, if you applied for the economic injury disaster loan, there was a question on the application that asked if you wanted to be considered for up to a $10,000 grant. I assume the vast majority of folks who were applying for the loan at the time said yes, and then you were given about $1,000 per employee. Now that has been edited a bit so that if you are in a low income area, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later on in my presentation, but you can now receive additional funds up to that $10,000 if you did not previously receive the full $10,000. At the state level, there is a really great loan program called the California Rebuilding Fund. This is a loan program that is offered through community lenders. So there are community lenders throughout the state who are participating in this program, and they are issuing loans at 4.25% repaid over between 2 to 5 years. So getting into some of those California resources, really quickly, I just want to highlight this great grant opportunity for businesses in LA County with fewer than 20 full-time and part-time employees that were founded by February 2019. This is a grant offered through Found LA, which is a nonprofit organization that is part of the War Wand Foundation. The application opened this past Monday and closes this coming Sunday. Something I love about this grant program is that the response is really rapid. So if you get your application in by Sunday, February 21st, you will receive notification of selection or not by Wednesday. And so this is really great because I know sometimes with grant programs, it's really just a waiting game and waiting to hear back. And, they take months to review applications sometimes. But this is really great because it does have that fast turnaround. And then additionally, if you are not selected during the specific application round, your application will be reviewed again during subsequent rounds. So definitely encourage you to check out the eligibility criteria for this grant and apply if you are eligible. Now going on to this program, the California Rebuilding Fund. This is a loan program that was developed by a group called the CASE Task Force that came together right at the onset of the pandemic to make sure that small businesses in California would be able to access capital aside from the different programs created by the federal government. So these are loans backed by the state's infrastructure bank, or the iBank. Their loans issued at an interest rate of 4.25%. The maximum loan amount is $100,000 or 100% of 3 months average monthly revenue prior to COVID-19. So if you take the average of 3 months of revenue, multiply it by 3, and then you can apply for that much money up to $100,000. So if that equation is more than $100,000, you would just be able to apply for $100,000. It does have a maximum repayment term of 60 months, so that's 5 years at that 4.25%. And the first 12 months of this program are interest only. And so also if you are able to repay the loan faster than the full term of your loan, there are no prepayment penalties, unlike some other loans. You can find more information about the California Rebuilding Fund at caloanfund.org. Additionally, a little bit about borrower eligibility. The business has to have fewer than 50 employees, and this is based off of employment levels prior to March 2020, not at the time of application. And this does include affiliates of the business, so co-owners, etc. This is a loan specifically for-profit businesses. Nonprofits are not eligible to apply for the California Rebuilding Fund. A personal guarantee may be required. Really important to note here that each lender participating in this program has their own requirements. So the California Rebuilding Fund itself has a baseline eligibility requirement, and then each independent lender has their own subsequent eligibility criteria that you will be subject to should you be eligible for a loan with them. You will have to provide signature by every owner with greater than 20% of the business. And you will also, of course, have to be able to submit tax documentation. Regarding the profitability requirements for this program, this does get a little confusing. So if you're interested in this program, I highly recommend you check out caloanfund.org. But you do have to be able to demonstrate direct economic hardship from COVID-19, and that would be a 25% decline in revenue since January 2020. And this will be proven in your business bookkeeping. So, just being able to demonstrate a decline in revenues during, I can't remember the exact period of time, but during a certain period of time, being able to demonstrate a loss compared to the previous year. You must have annual revenues less than $2.5 million, no active bankruptcies, no 30+ day delinquencies in January or February, and no more than one 60-day delinquency, no charge-offs or discharge bankruptcies in the COVID-19 times. Additionally, pretty standard stuff, no repossessions or foreclosures for the past 36 months, no outstanding tax liens or judgments unless there's a 6 months of active payment plan in place, no unpaid child support, and additionally, no minimum credit score is required, but the community lenders all have their own requirements. You will probably have to provide a schedule of ownership, which is again pretty standard for most loans. You'll have to do an application certification, provide some bank statements just to prove that there's revenue going in and out of the business, 2019 tax returns, a personal guarantee may be required, and then of course evidence of the organization's legal formation, which could be a business license, something from the Secretary of the State, etc. There are some ineligible industries, and again, this is pretty standard stuff. So anything that's prohibited at the federal level. So in California, that would include cannabis-based businesses, businesses engaged in speculative activities and lobbying, gambling, etc. To find out more, you would submit the pre-application on caloanfund.org. This is, of course, after reviewing the eligibility criteria, just to make sure that you aren't wasting your time by submitting an application for something you're not going to qualify for. So you'll submit, I think it's about 15 questions. And then at the end of that pre-application, you will potentially be matched with one of those community lenders. You'll be able to connect with them, and then they'll follow up with their actual application. So at the time of submitting your pre-application, there is no credit check, there is no documentation required, but that may be asked of you later once you start completing that the application with the lender itself. But that being said, this is just one of the tools out there. This is not the solution for all businesses. And so if you do not qualify, so if at the end of submitting your pre-application, you are not matched with the lender, you will be able to get in contact with different support technical assistance providers in your area, and they'll be able to help you determine if there's another program out there for you, kind of what your other options are, because it's possible that you may not qualify for the California Rebuilding Fund, but you may qualify for a different loan product with a different community lender at maybe 1% higher interest. So things like that. So if you fill out your pre-application and you're not connected with a lender, don't worry, all hope is not lost. You have other options. It's just a matter of connecting with your women's business centers, your small business development centers, SCORE, etc. And all of that is just to help you get loan ready and make sure that you're in the right place to borrow. Now I'm going to get into a little bit about PPP, and as I'm sure some of you know, PPP Round 2 did begin a couple of weeks ago, and it's a little confusing, right? Some people may have taken out a loan during the first round, some people may not have, and there's just a lot of different criteria. So just a few quick, an overview of some of the updates. So for those of you who did take out loans during the first round of PPP back during earlier months of the pandemic prior to August 8th, all loans under 150K will be eligible to complete a one-page forgiveness form with their lender. PPP borrowers can now come back for a second draw loan. So if you received a first draw loan of PPP, you can get a second one now. Just depending on your eligibility, there is a few different eligibility requirements for the second round versus the first, and I'll go over those in just a bit. There are some additional eligible expenses that can be included in your non-payroll costs. So you may be familiar with kind of the 60-40 terminology, meaning that 60% of the loan funds have to be spent on payroll and 40% on non-payroll expenses. Previously, it was 75-25. That was reduced, I think, probably back in June or July to 60-40. And now there are more expenses that can be included under that 40% criteria. And I think that there is oftentimes a little bit of confusion between PPP and EIDL. So I'm going to go ahead and clarify some of that really quickly. PPP is a loan program that was created directly in response to the coronavirus. It is forgivable, and it does have a narrower scope of eligible uses. So it's mostly payroll, mortgage interest, and rent and utility expenses, primarily overhead. You would apply through an SBA approved lender, not directly through the SBA, unlike the EIDL. And for all of those funds that are not forgiven, you will have to pay 1% fixed interest between 2 to 5 years, and there is no credit check or collateral required. Unlike the economic injury disaster loan, which existed prior to the coronavirus, it's not forgivable, and it does have a wider use of funds that are eligible. You would apply directly through the SBA at that higher interest rate of 3.75%. It's very likely that a credit check will be required, and it's possible that collateral will be. And then the maximum repayment there is 30 years. So as you can see, there are a few differences, and it's very important to keep those in mind because you can apply for both. And have both loans, in addition to potentially also having a California Rebuilding Fund loan and getting a grant from, let's say, Found LA or a different source. So there is a bunch of new money now in the second round of PPP. Both first-time and second-time borrowers are eligible until the end of March to submit their application. So we have a few weeks left here to apply for PPP. That 60-40 rule still applies, and you must have been in business as of February 15th, 2020. How will your loan be calculated? Now, this is where the math comes in, and I'm not a math expert, but sometimes there's some pretty set formulas for figuring out how your loan will be calculated. So you can calculate the aggregate payroll cost of your business using data or the numbers from either the previous 12 months or from the 2019 calendar year. Now, the difference between those may be that during the previous 12 months, you had lower payroll expenses, and in 2019, you had higher payroll expenses possibly. And so if you want that larger loan, it may benefit you to use your 2019 information. However, keep in mind that you will have to spend it within a certain amount of time, and you will have to still use that 60-40 guidelines. So if it makes more sense for you to have a smaller loan, in order to be able to use it within that criteria and have it forgiven, it may be best to apply for that smaller amount. Seasonal businesses are eligible, and they can use their average monthly payroll from between February 12th, 2019 or March 1st up until June 30th, 2019. And an applicant that was not in business from February 15th to June 30th, 2019 may use the average monthly payroll cost for the period of January 1st, 2020 through February 29th, 2020. So right before the pandemic really became a big deal. So again, there are some different criteria for second draw PPP borrowers. The maximum amount for the loan is now $2 million. You have to have fewer than 300 employees. Previously, it was fewer than 500 employees. You have to have used all of your PPP funds. You must be able to demonstrate a 25% reduction in revenues for a quarter of 2020 compared to the same quarter of 2019. And so that 25% reduction in revenues is not required to be demonstrated by first-time borrowers, but it is by second draw borrowers. And applications for this opened on January 13th and will close on March 31st, 2021. The maximum amount of second draw PPP loans is, for most businesses, 2.5 times the average monthly payroll cost, and healthcare, which includes dental and vision. And you can base that off of either the previous 12 months or 2019. However, for businesses that have a NAICS code beginning in 72, and that includes food and hospitality businesses, you are eligible for 3.5 times the monthly average payroll cost for either the previous 12 months or 2019. Again, still with that cap of $2 million. And you can find your NAICS code pretty easily, actually, you can Google restaurant NAICS code, and then it'll take you to the NAICS website where you'll be able to kind of find the exact category for you. You can even just Google NAICS code search and it'll come up. Very important to note that you should not have to pay for your NAICS code. So if you're confronting paywalls, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you find your NAICS code pretty quickly. Again, you do have that 1% interest rate for funds that are not forgiven. Interest rate is non-compounding and non-adjustable for first and second draw loans. And under PPP, lenders may not charge a yearly fee, charge a guaranteed fee, charge a prepayment penalty, request collateral, or a personal guarantee. Very important because these four criteria were made explicit in the most recent round of legislation regarding stimulus. And so now this is all written in law. So now that this is public, you should know going into the application process that this is all in the law. Again, 5-year maximum repayment for the PPP. The deferral period lasts until the loan forgiveness amount is determined. So you don't start paying, or you don't start having interest accrued on the loan until the forgiveness amount is determined, because then that's how the 1% interest is determined based off of those funds that are not forgiven. And borrowers who fail to apply for loan forgiveness must start making loan payments within 10 months of the last day of their covered period. Now, there are some, the eligible payroll costs, so everything that fits into the 60% category includes compensation, payments for vacation, allowances for dismissal or separation, so severance pay, payments required by group health benefits, including insurance premiums for health, dental, and vision, retirement benefits, and then state or local tax assessed on compensation of employees, so payroll tax. Additionally, you can use PPP funds for that 40% category for payments of interest on mortgage obligations. That does not include the payment of the principal, so just mortgage interest, rent, and utilities. Some of the things that were added to that 40% category include, or this is part of the 60%, I'm sorry, is any payment to payroll software, cloud computing. So if you maybe use ADP, for example, and you have to pay ADP on a monthly or quarterly basis, you can use PPP funds for that. Property damage, that was part of public disturbances, so this goes into that 40% category. Supplier costs, again, goes into the 40%, and covered worker protection expenditures, which includes PPE. And again, very important to note that you don't have to use the loan in that 60-40% guidelines. It just has at least 60% of PPP funds have to go towards payroll expenses, and no more than 40% can go to non-payroll expenses in order to qualify for forgiveness. However, you can use 100% of the loan on payroll expenses if you choose, or you can use 75% of the loan on payroll expenses, whatever works best for your business. But in order to qualify for forgiveness, you do have to have at least 60% going towards payroll and a maximum of 40% going towards non-payroll expenses. You will have to prove a little bit regarding the amount of employees that you retained, but that's all part of the PPP forgiveness process that you'll work through with your bank. And then very important to note that you will have to retain employment records for 4 years and non-payroll records for 3 years after submitting your forgiveness application, just in the event of an audit. Let's see here. Oh, very important also, expenses made with forgiven PPP loan proceeds can be deducted from your taxes, so you won't have to report PPP funds that are forgiven in your gross receipts on your taxes. However, you will have to include funds that are not forgiven. Idle advance will no longer be deducted from forgivable PPP, from the forgivable PPP amount. This is a new update, and the covered period is between 8 and 24 weeks, depending on the agreement with your lender. In order to find a PPP lender, you will go to, you can use the SBA lender match tool. If you're a second draw applicant, you can go back to that bank you used the first time, or you're welcome to find a new lender. A little bit about the economic injury disaster loan. Loans are available for up to $2 million, and you apply directly through the SBA at that interest rate of 3.75% for for-profits and 2.75% for nonprofits. I don't have a ton of information for nonprofits, so if you're representing a nonprofit, I recommend you get in contact with Cal Nonprofits for a little bit more information. And you can apply for the economic injury disaster loan through the end of this year. So if you haven't, highly encourage you to do so, because you can have both an EIDL and a PPP on your books. The EIDL advance, so I said previously that you may be eligible to receive up to $10,000 now if you did not previously receive the $10,000. There's no application required here. The SBA will reach out to you if you qualify based off of your census tract data. So it's a little hard to figure out whether or not you'll qualify. You kind of just have to wait for the SBA to reach out to you, which kind of is a pro and a con, because you don't have to do any work, but you also kind of just have to wait and see. There are some additional SBA debt relief initiatives in the most recent round of stimulus, which included 3 months of deferrals on principal and interest for SBA qualifying loans starting in February 2021, so this month. Underserved borrowers, namely the smallest and hardest hit, will receive an additional 5 months, so 8 total months of relief. So this is not paying principal or interest for 8 months. And the SBA principal and interest on the first 6 months of newly approved loans will resume for all loans approved between February 1 and September 30th, 2021, capped at $9,000 per month. So again, just not making payments on those loans that you previously took out with the SBA. There have been some additional funds set aside for 7A, 504, and micro loans through the SBA. So the SBA offers more than just the economic injury disaster loan. They offer loans for buying retail space, for working capital, for buying equipment, etc. And at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of folks were saying it was really hard to access these loans. I mean, that's because there was a shortage of funds, but now there's additional money in those pots. So I highly encourage you to check out the SBA's other loan products. And if you are eligible, it's best to get in contact with your Small Business Development Center, a SCORE mentor, or a Women's Business Development Center, and they can help you prepare your loan package for those loans. It is a little bit harder and a more intense application process. So it's definitely great to have a second set of eyes on those applications and making sure that there's someone there to help you walk through that. And then finally, getting into some resources, tools, and other ways to get involved with Small Business Majority. First, I want to highlight a few of our upcoming events. We're constantly doing different webinars and educational events. So some of the ones that are coming up for the rest of this week includes an event called How the Student Debt Crisis is Holding Back Small Businesses. And so there's recently been some studies that indicated that businesses or that student debt is hindering entrepreneurship, and that those businesses with student debt had a harder time accessing programs such as PPP and EIDL. So if you're interested in learning more about the relationship between student debt and entrepreneurship, you can sign up for this event at smallbusinessmajority.org/events. We also have a webinar on incorporating your business, so information about corporate tax and legal structures for small businesses. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Then every Friday, we have a 30-minute policy brief where our California policy manager gives a little bit of an update about some federal and state policies that impact small businesses. Highly encourage you to check out venturides.org, where we store all of this information. We have a very comprehensive PPP and EIDL page that gives kind of bullet points of all of the information you need to know before applying. I also highly encourage you to join our network, and you do this by signing up for our newsletter, and you receive event updates as well as our weekly newsletter. Encourage you to share your story for media requests. We're oftentimes getting requests from media outlets to speak with small business owners on a number of issues. And so if you're interested in having your voice heard, please reach out to us. We have an online community forum where you can interact with other business owners and Small Business Majority staff. You can join our mailing list by going to that link. You can check out our website at smallbusinessmajority.org, and then venturize.org is also a great site. If you don't want to type that long URL into your email to join our mailing list, you can go to smallbusinessmajority.org, scroll to the bottom, and there is a button that will say join our mailing list. And with that, I am ready to take some questions.
Wonderful. Thank you, Latavia. That was so insightful. I hope that everyone has found that to be very useful. So I have Monique Weeks, our recreation coordinator, here with us. She's going to go ahead and take any questions that we might have in the Q&A box.
All right, Latavia, it looks like we have one question that came in. What is the interest rate for PPP loans?
So it is 1% for all of the funds that are not forgiven. So you won't start being charged interest until you apply for forgiveness. So if you apply, let's say you receive a $10,000 PPP loan, and you go to apply for forgiveness and they determine that you use the full $10,000 within the required categories, you won't have to pay any interest. But if they say, actually, you only used $8,000 within the correct categories, so you still will have to repay at least $2,000, you'll have between 2 and 5 years to pay back that $2,000 at 1% interest.
Awesome. We have a few more questions. How do I apply for the PPP forgiveness?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm actually going to switch my screen really quickly. So if you go to venturize.org and click on this little COVID-19 button, and you go to loans and grants, and you click browse now. So if you go to venturize.org under our COVID tab and go to federal resources, we have some information on venturize.org, and you'll be able to download the PPP forgiveness application, and you'll submit that with your bank. So it's really important here to follow up with your bank to see what documentation they're going to require, because it is different from institution to institution. So there is kind of some like default forms from the SBA, but then your bank will also ask for different proof of expenses and things like that.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. Can you receive funding from multiple programs?
Yeah, so it really depends. So you can receive, so some of the programs I talked about today were that Found LA grant for businesses in LA County, the California Rebuilding Fund, PPP and EIDL. You can have all of those at the same time, but it's really important to note that some, especially local grants, will stipulate that it's only for businesses that didn't receive any federal funding. And so it really just depends on the program, but you can have the state programs and the federal programs all kind of at the same time, but some of those smaller grants do have more specific guidelines.
And it looks like we just have one last question. What documentation do you need to apply for PPP and the EIDL?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So with the PPP, it will depend on your lender, but with the EIDL, since you are applying directly through the SBA, they have a really great checklist that I can pull up. Actually, my mouse isn't showing up on my computer. That's very odd, but I will put the checklist into the chat so folks can see it. And it really depends on the type of business that you have. Oh, there we go. So you'll have to provide like a schedule of ownership. You'll have to provide your different tax forms, personal financial statements, and it's very cool. They have it broken down in the checklist by type of business, and then a hyperlink to the type of document. So I'll go ahead and put that in the chat as soon as I am done.
Okay, thank you. Is that all of our questions?
Yes, that's it for us.
It looks like in the chat. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Latavia. That has been very helpful.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I hope everyone gained some knowledge from our experts here, Mayor Nancy Lyons and City Manager Dan Fox, and of course, Small Business Majority Rep Latavia Pineda. Again, if you have any questions that we weren't able to address today, please feel free to email us at rentals@diamondbarca.gov. Again, that is rentals@diamondbarca.gov. Okay, so that wraps up our first half of our presentations today. At this point, I would like to go ahead and introduce you to Evelyn Rivero, Recreation Specialist with the City of Diamond Bar. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Before introducing all the vendors today, I'd like to take a moment to share the following video regarding the Diamond Bar Center. All right, so I just want to share a little bit of information about the Diamond Bar Center. The Diamond Bar Center is owned and operated by the City of Diamond Bar and is unlike any other community center. It provides a unique experience with flexibility to bring in any vendor so you can customize a space to fit your needs. In addition to the Grandview Ballroom, we have 4 breakout rooms that can accommodate large and small events. The opportunities are endless, from a 10-person meeting, 800-person conference, or an elegant holiday party. With over 400 events per year, our knowledgeable and experienced staff can provide you with the tools to plan a successful event. The valuable partnerships, equipment, and resources we have today to make the Diamond Bar Center a one-stop shop. Additionally, with the guidance of the City of Diamond Bar's infectious disease control policy, the center is working hard to establish a safe and easy to follow social distancing procedure to ensure the health and well-being of staff and guests. Once LA County procedures are established, we will be ready to open with health and safety modifications in place. The center is the ideal location for businesses to provide educational seminars, trainings, team building events, holiday parties, and installment dinners. For more information or to take a virtual facility tour, please call our office to speak to an experienced rental specialist at 909-839-7065. And now for the second half of our program, where we introduce our vendors who specialize in corporate and private events. The vendors that are participating today have worked with us for several years and are trusted vendors. Some of them will be working with us to trade some of their services for a photo shoot, while others have donated prizes that will be raffled today. After introducing each vendor, they will have an opportunity to speak about any questions that you may have, so make sure to drop any question in the Q&A box. Please stay after our vendor introductions to be entered to win a raffle prize today provided by our vendors. So first up, we have Arias Suites. We have Alma joining us, and Alma has provided a small video. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so like I mentioned, we have Alma joining us today. Hi, Alma, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Alma. Go ahead and share a little bit more information about Arias Suites and Diamond Bar.
Absolutely. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much again for allowing us to share this video, to know that the hotel continues to be open and we continue to strive to offer clean and safe lodging to all our travelers. Another piece of information I would like to share, of course, for all the groups, especially with social events such as weddings, anniversaries, quinceañeras, we do offer shuttle packages. One of them is complimentary with 10 room nights booked at the hotel. That consists of 2 complimentary drop-offs and 2 complimentary pickups. The groups also have the option, if they do not pick up 10 room nights, to purchase the package B, which is at a $275, and that's unlimited trips within 8 hours. Other than that, I think that's all the information I have for groups. If anybody has any questions regarding our services, go ahead.
All right, so like I said, again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box. What kind of procedures have you taken to help with COVID-19, Alma?
as you can see in the video, we still utilizing our electrostatic sprayer to disinfect all our guest rooms, all our public areas. We include in the van, even though we really haven't used much the shuttle, to be honest with you, based that we don't have groups right now. But even for individual travel, I mean, it will be something that we do for every trip. We will sanitize, disinfect everything. We have modified a little bit our services. We still offer everything because some of the restrictions have been eased already. But for example, for our gym, it's only one person at a time. After they're finished with their workout, we'll go ahead and sanitize the whole area. For our breakfast, which is included in the rates, and we still offering the full breakfast. The only difference is to go at the moment, just to comply with all the restrictions in place.
Okay, and it looks like we have one last question. How much are shuttle passages or packages?
Like I mentioned before, one is complimentary if the group is able to pick up 10 room nights, or they can purchase package B, which is $275, and that's a flat, and that includes again unlimited trips to the venue, to the Diamond Bar Center for 8 consecutive hours.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And like Alma mentioned, that is definitely something that a lot of our clients look for, is for a hotel that offers shuttle services. So if you're ever in the area, make sure to check them out and contact Alma at the information below. Thank you again, Alma, for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and move forward with our next vendor. So next up, we have Bedazzle My Events. We have Chad joining us today. Hi, Chad. Are you able to hear me?
Hi, how are you? Yes.
Good, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to add any information about your business.
Perfect. My name is Chad Suna with Bedazzle My Events. You could reach us at 909-263-3533 or visit our website at bedazzlemyevents.com. Also our Instagram, we'll have more up-to-date events. But yeah, so we're a full service rental company as well as event planning. We do everything from draping, the crystal columns, dance floors, lighting, Chiavari chairs, any kind of decor that you need at the Diamond Bar Center. We're fully equipped and ready to roll. We've done hundreds of weddings there. So we're very familiar with the property, with the rules. I got married there myself like 12 years ago, so that helps. Crystal was actually my coordinator. So we're like a big family over there. Again, we're very familiar with everyone and everything. Weddings, corporate events, all special events, we do it all. But yeah, so if you ever need anything, you know who to call. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chad. I just wanted to add, like he mentioned, the picture on the slideshow is the Diamond Bar Center. Those crystal columns are something that they do offer. And we have built a very great relationship with them. They're one of our most trusted vendors. If anyone has any questions, again, feel free to drop them in the Q&A box. But what areas do you guys service, Chad?
We go, honestly, San Diego to Santa Barbara. As of this past Christmas, we started going really far north. We did all the tree lots for Lowe's, all their Christmas tree lots, their tenting. So we went from here to, Sacramento. So, I mean, wherever our trucks could travel, we'll go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Like he said, feel free to check his website out with more pictures and contact him directly for more information. Thank you, Chad, for joining us. I really appreciate you hopping on today.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so next up we have Carcano DJ, and joining us today from Carcano DJ is Mike. Mike, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
I can.
Perfect.
All right,
Thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to add any information about your services.
Absolutely. First off, my name is Mike Carcano. My company name is Carcano DJ, Audiovisual and Lighting. And I want to thank the Diamond Bar Center for allowing me to speak on behalf of my company and tell you a little bit about the services that we offer. I've been in business over 20 years, and I've done many events at the Diamond Bar Center. We specialize in DJ for corporate events, weddings, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras, as well as audiovisual equipment, sound services, and we do offer some rentals. We love doing anything that involves entertainment, where we can entertain corporate events or weddings or special functions like that. We're very interactive. I just did a corporate event last week for 100 different companies. We're currently doing a lot more drive-ins and drive-throughs where we perform music, entertainment while people are in their cars. We also do many types of games like bingo, and we did Name That Tune. We bought big screen TVs, and we did everything through the TVs, and a lot of different activities for corporations and businesses, even though we're in more of a COVID-safe environment. And once things get back to normal, we will be back at the Diamond Bar Center ready to perform for your next corporate function or wedding. So really looking forward to the future, staying very positive and optimistic. I know that people are booking and they're looking forward to the future. So am I.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Mike.
Okay.
So it looks like I have a question here. Are you taking any COVID protocols when you are doing any like small events right now?
We take a lot of precautions when we perform events. We always wear masks. We always bring sanitizer. We bring Clorox wipes to wipe microphones because people like to talk on our microphones. We try to put all our mics on stands and just wipe down anything people have contact with. So don't want to say we're paranoid, we're just very cautious. And we want to make sure that we stay safe when we do events as well as potential customers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us.
Absolutely.
We're going to go ahead and move on. Our next vendor highlight that we have here is CC Celebration and More. Christina was unable to join us today. However, she wanted us to let you know that her services include event planning, design, decoration, and flowers. She offers a complete planning for all types of event, month of coordination, weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, corporate planning, and party planning. She offers corporate and holiday parties, award banquets, and special meetings, annual events, and more. Their service area coverage is Southern California and can provide destination planning services. She was kind enough to also share her experience with the Diamond Bar Center. So she says, our experience with the Diamond Bar Center has been one of professionalism and kindness when calling for events. Communication is key in any relationship. They answer our questions and have assisted us to ensure our couples or clients have a successful event or wedding. I always refer to them as a venue option to my clients and couples, not only for space accommodation, but for the view, ambiance, as well as pricing that provides real value. Feel free to contact Christina at CC Celebration and More if you have any questions, and check out her website. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next vendor. Our next vendor is Gustavo Villarreal Photography. Gustavo was also unable to join us today. However, he wanted us to share that he provides services all around the world. He provides videography, photography, and invitations, and specializes in weddings, quinceañeras, corporate events, and business headshots. So feel free to contact him directly with any questions you may have, and check out his gallery at his website. Next up, we have JC Vision, and joining us from JC Vision is Sandy. Sandy was nice enough to provide a small video, so let's go ahead and take a look.
You own a small business, but there is nothing small about your business. The products you sell, the service you deliver, the employees you support, and the heart and soul you invested is anything but small. You knew that running a small business wasn't for the faint of heart. It's for the patient, the persistent, and the brave. You survived 2020, but now you need to think differently to thrive in 2021. Let JC Vision help elevate your business to newer heights. It's a big world out there. Let us help your clients explore yours.
All right, good morning, Sandy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Evelyn. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, feel free to go ahead and let everybody know a little bit more information about your services and your business.
Absolutely. So my name is Sandy Salazar. My company is JC Vision, and we always say that you're constantly hearing that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So imagine how much a virtual tour is worth. Today's customers are incredibly visual. They want to be familiarize themselves with the location prior to investing their time to come in to visit. So us here at JC Vision, we specialize in creating 3D virtual tours. We do Google Street View virtual tours, aerial drone photography, and videography. We found that Google studies have shown that businesses with virtual tours are twice more likely to be visited and ranked higher in SEOs than those without. So our focus is to help your business increase your customer base by attracting new clients with our virtual tours and helping you set yourself apart from the competition. So if you're interested in learning more about our services, you can visit our website, which is jcvision.com, jseavision.com. Shoot me an email at hello@jcvision.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sandy, for sharing that. And I just wanted to again thank you for joining us today. And she's actually going to be helping us with our own virtual tour for Heritage Park and Pantera Park. So those should be up hopefully soon. So thank you again for sharing, and thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. And if I can add real quick, I understand that a lot of businesses right now are still new to virtual tours. It's still a new concept. So what we're doing is for our attendees today, if you guys sign up for Google Street View virtual tour before February 28th, we will actually provide you with a different 3D interactive virtual tour for free and hosting for free for 6 months, along with these Google goggles that you can use so you can see your space in 3D.
That's awesome. Thank you. We got some lucky attendees today.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I'm the luckiest being here and being with you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Likewise. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move forward with our next vendor. Our next vendor is Miho Entertainment. Richard is the owner of Miho Entertainment and was unable to join us today. He services all of Southern California and provides DJ, lighting, and photo booth, and also MCs special events. We actually rely on Richard for some of our own personal events, such as our bridal show, our corporate events, and installment dinners, and he provides professional and quality services. So feel free to reach him at his phone number below or take a look at his website for more information. Next up, we have Tiscarino's Catering and Events. Gabby is the owner of Tiscarino's and provides wedding planning, corporate and private events. We work very closely with Tiscarino's. They cater our senior dances every month, and they actually just helped us out with our senior drive-through lunch pickup last week on Friday. They're one of our most valued vendors and help with our annual bridal show and all of our corporate events. So feel free to check out her website and contact them via phone number if you have any questions. And last but not least, we have Two of a Kind Rentals. We have Krista joining us this morning. Krista was able to provide a small video, and then she will be available to answer any questions after the small video. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Hi, my name is Krista Lee with Two of a Kind Furniture Rentals. We are based in Los Angeles, California, so not far at all from the Diamond Bar Center. A little bit about Two of a Kind Rentals is that we are going on 8 years providing furniture for events. We specialize in backdrops and bars, and then also provide tons of lounge furniture, shelving, cocktail tables, dining chairs, dining stools, throws, rugs, and pillows. We also have a trade program where we work with event planners and venues and event professionals and offer them business perks as well. So definitely reach out. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Awesome. So good morning, Krista. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Evelyn. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this.
Of course. So feel free to share a little bit more information about your business, and then if we have any questions, we'll make sure to ask them.
Yeah. So I started Two of a Kind Rentals in New York City almost 8 years ago. And just this year, we launched our LA warehouse. So we are in Los Angeles, not too far from the Diamond Bar Center. And conveniently located between LA, Orange County, and then farther east as well. We get to work with awesome clients and provide specialty rentals in the corporate sector like Facebook and Google, Kate Spade, etc., for a lot of their cool conferences, employee training events, and offsite events outside of their offices, as well as social events like weddings, parties, and other things like that. And we are a team of 8 people. We really thrive to create long-lasting relationships with planners and venues and all types of vendors. So I would love to connect with everyone. Our website is twofakindrentals.com. My email is listed there on the video. It's Krista@twofakindrentals.com. And what we supply for events in terms of rentals is we specialize in custom backdrops, lots of lounge furniture, bars, and decor, and smaller pillows and throws, smaller items like that. So yeah, happy to answer any questions that you may have.
What areas do you service? I know you said you're located in Los Angeles, but are you able to service like San Diego or the Inland Empire at all?
We are, yes. We have gone to San Diego. We have gone even more north as Santa Barbara, Joshua Tree, Palm Springs. We have some projects in Las Vegas coming up this spring and summer. So yeah, we really are able to travel. In New York City, we traveled even as far as like Philadelphia, Connecticut, hours radius from our warehouse. So we're really just planning on doing the same here in LA.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Krista. Again, everyone feel free to check out her website. They have really beautiful rentals and furniture. And she's actually going to be helping us with our photo shoot for the Diamond Bar Center. So make sure to take a look at our website once those pictures are up. Thank you, Krista, for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Evelyn.
All right. So I'd like to now conclude all of the vendor highlights. We're actually going to be moving forward with our raffle. So everyone that was signed up for today's event has been entered for a raffle, and we will be raffling off 2 $25 gift cards to Target, a $50 gift card, and a complimentary stay at Arias Suites in Diamond Bar. So let's go ahead and take a look at who will get the first $25 gift card to Target. And we will be contacting you via email. And it looks like Diane C is our first winner for the Target $25 gift card to Target. Perfect. Now we have one more. And it looks like Shelly C is the grand prize winner for our second $25 gift card to Target. Awesome. And then we have our $50 gift card to Target. That's a good one. Ooh, Hector R is the winner of our $50 gift card to Target. So again, we will be contacting everybody via email. And then our last prize is the complimentary stay at Arias Suites in Diamond Bar. And it looks like Adriana B is our grand prize winner for the complimentary stay at Arias Suites in Diamond Bar. So thank you all so much for joining us today and participating vendors that helped with today's event. Please visit diamondbarcenter.com for more details as how you can utilize our facility for your next meeting or event. And I'm going to pass it on to Crystal.
Yes, thank you so much, Evelyn, and thank you to all of our vendors. Without you, the Diamond Bar Center is a blank slate. You guys have done a wonderful job with helping our clients and, of course, helping us with our own events and photo shoots. So thank you so much for all of your efforts and for participating in today's event. I also want to thank our knowledgeable speakers. For supporting our local small businesses. I hope that everyone has gained some helpful resources, and we wish you all the best of luck with your business recovery. I did want to add a little bit more about the Diamond Bar Center's current state. We are still currently closed to large gatherings. So at this time, we are taking reservations for 2022. And of course, with the understanding that depending on guidelines based on our current conditions, our capacities and our abilities and to conduct certain activities may be modified. So I do want to just make that clear. Mike Carcano had mentioned drive-throughs as well as Tuscarinos helping our seniors here do a drive-through. We have done a few drive-through reservations here at the center. We do have a large parking lot that allows for a large space to do so with an easy drive up in and out driveway. So we've worked with a couple events here at the center. So that is still also an option if you're looking for a drive-through location. So again, thank you, everyone. I hope that you all have the best of luck with recovery. And again, if you have any further questions regarding today's event or our Diamond Bar Center, please visit diamondbarca.gov, or you can email us at rentals@diamondbarca.gov. Again, email is rentals@diamondbarca.gov. All right, that will conclude our presentation for today. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you all have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you guys so much. You have a fantastic day.
Awesome. Thank you. Likewise, Sandy.